Look here. I finally did it. I beat Cult of the Lamb. It may have taken a bit longer than expected, but in just short of 100 days, I managed to beat the bishops and finish the game. And here is how my days in Cult of the Lamb went. Quick recap for those who missed the first video and don't want to go watch that video. It's fine. I get it. Whatever. Anyways, this is Cult of the Lamb, and I started my 30 days learning how to play the game, as you would assume. Our goal was to defeat the 4 bishops who imprisoned us and governed the land, while growing our cult of goobers and becoming stronger. In the first video, we ventured through Darkwood and Anura to defeat the 2 bishops, Leshy and Hecate. Leshy was no problem, but Hecate took 2 tries, and that's all the progress I made in 30 days. Yeah, I know, pretty lackluster, but I didn't want to rush through the game and actually enjoy my time. Alright, that's pretty much the gist of what happened. Most of the video was just me showing up my followers anyway, so let's start days 30 to 40. Damn, that recap guy finally stopped yapping. Last time we only went through 30 days, but I got a good couple of days in this time around, so we are going up by groups of 10. It is now time to hunt for the next bishop, and we are immediately getting some action. We are hunting Calamar this time, the stupid fish squid guy, whatever you want to call him. But before we go hunting through Anchor Deep, we did a couple of things at the base. Like, here are some new followers, like Dengus, Larinold, and Balzabub. Yep, my names are still fantastic. We found a new area, which I then proceeded to never go back to ever again. I completely forgot it existed. And I have now become one step closer to becoming a government entity, because we now have Bortunder, our tax collector, who apparently hates me because he immediately started dissenting. Straight to jail. Be happy you didn't become Bingus too. Oh, and during these days, we also unlocked the sin mechanic in the game, which is super cool and allows more rituals, customizations, and general mechanics in the game, yada yada. And the first thing we did with said mechanic is make all my followers dance around naked. I'm not weird. You're weird for thinking it's weird. Anyways, I suppose it's time to talk about the actual progress. Making my way through Anchor Deep, I realized this area is a lot harder than the last 2. I think this part of the game has a little difficulty spike, but I am different, so of course, naturally, I'm unaffected. And we make our way to the 3rd boss in the game, Calamar. First of all, your design, my good sir, is badass. Love the whole full arsenal kind of deal you got going on. Oh lord, he doesn't take compliments well. Anywho, this fight was definitely more difficult and interesting than the last 2. There is so much going on and a variety in the moveset, which is super cool. I think the weapon combo I had with dagger and invincibility was a bit too strong though, as I managed to beat him first try. But after fighting the boss a couple more times, I think I got pretty lucky and I did not manage to keep the no-hit streak going, which makes me quite sad. But the Calamar fight is super good and a great way to start off this video. That all happens on like day 38, so yeah, nothing else happens until day 40 itself, so we're just gonna move on now. Days 40 to 50. The next 10 days at the start, I honestly took a little break from progress. I didn't want to burn through the game too fast, so I just went through some of the old dungeons and gained some more followers. Soon after, we gained the single most important building in the entire cult, beer! We can now serve alcohol, which is one of the many ways to acquire sin. But honestly, I don't care for that. I like seeing my cultists get drunk and fight, because that shit is funny. Also, at this point, I have started a little hobby, to say the least. The amount of mines and lumber yards I have has increased a bit, but I'm sure they're useful and won't get out of control. It's gonna be fine. It's around day 43 now, and we unlocked another very important addition to the base, the mating tent. Yes, I can make my cultist breed to make the strongest. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I lied. I acquired the recipe and proceeded to forget about it, like I do with a lot of things in this game. There's just too damn much. I thought it was worth a mention at least. On to actual more serious matters, day 43 was extra important because this was when we first entered the final door, the Silk Cradle, with the Bishop Shamura. Shamura. This area was a bit different though. I should probably rewind a bit to explain this part. As you go through the game, exploring the areas, you'll meet the bishops in said adventures, and they will always do something to screw with you based on what horsemen of the apocalypse they represent. For example, Hecate would appear and proceed to starve some of your cultists because she represented famine, or Calamar would poison your cultists because he represents pestilence. Pretty simple stuff, but now there is a problem. This Shamura represents war, and what that means is he turns our beloved followers against us. Wait a minute, is it a he? Hold on. Oh shit. They turn our followers against us, and now we are forced to kill them. This makes me very sad. It's actually very problematic compared to the other bishops because, well, we lose followers. So now I got a personal bone to pick with this fucker, so it's game time. Anyways, for now, we just go through, pick up a few new followers like Focalors, Puron. Oh, and we just got one called Gandhi, so I just left that name as is. And now we go and have a lovely day. Rest in peace, Juno. You will be missed, my beautiful butterfly. Now, after this, I was just grinding out progress in the Silk Cradle, beating my head against the wall over and over again. But in between all these attempts, I did something cool called the Pumpkin Moon Ritual. The devs are actually in touch with this game and put out yearly events depending on when you're playing the game. I was recording this on October like 25th or something, so I got to see the Halloween event, which let me meet all of our past followers and get some new follower forms. Super cool. I love to see games do things like this. Other thing of note, around day 47, I met a guy named Midas whose cult is fully based around gold and money. He was kind of ugly though, so I left him alone for a while. Now back to the grind. The rest of the days were just attempts after attempt, a lot of failed runs because, I believe it or not, the last area is actually in fact difficult. Oh, and we met a really cool dude named Monch. He just increases a singular follower's loyalty, but he's a nice dude, and I like his name, so I really like him. Thumbs up. Good job, Monch. That's all we got for days 40 to 50. Not much progress made, but I'm slowly and steadily making my way towards my revenge on Shamura. I'm starting to realize how much I actually struggled in the Silk Cradle. This is actually kind of wild. This is days 50 to 60. All of these days were spent beating my head against a wall, so instead of showing me die over and over again, this is prime time to mention some small things that happened. We meet a new Knucklebones contestant named Shroomy, little bit toxic, but I'll get him back for that. We got a few new cultists, like Glorngus. This might be my best name yet. And Balls. And Balls starting to spread propaganda, so we sent him straight to Goon Jail. On to more important matters, we got a new weapon I forgot about. We got a gun! How could I forget this? I feel like this keeps happening in all of my videos. I find some sort of gun and I just make an America joke. I don't even live in America. Anyways, yeah, we get a blunderbuss, which has good damage at close range, but the real star is you can just snipe from far away and not take any damage because you're miles away. This is for sure the safest weapon in the game, but for some reason, I never end up finding it. But if you can get a vampiric blunderbuss, you just never die. It's so sick. Oh yeah, we also unlocked a bunch of new curses, but honestly, I still haven't figured out what they all do. And if I ever see invincibility, I take that over anything else because it's just way too strong in my opinion. I don't think I have mentioned the relics in this game either, but they're completely random all of the time and are all pretty strong, I think. But they're very cool for breaking up the combat, gives you more options on top of all of the pre-existing options. Now, let's get back into the game, and we finally have our first run-in with the real Shamura. We finally get a chance to fight. They are a big, grotesque spider. This boss is very, very fun. I failed my first couple of tries, but honestly think that was just the nerves getting to me. I don't think this boss is actually as difficult as Calamar, but it did take me the longest to beat. Speaking of which, I died again, get sent straight back to the cult, and now we can welcome Boring to the cult. Wait a minute, this guy is... And now we unlock the tailor station to cope with our losses. We can now dress our cultists in maid outfits. 10 out of 10 game, has made cultists, would buy again. Last addition before I get back to the grind is the confession booth. With this, you could get more loyalty out of your followers, but I prefer to use it to get sin out of my followers because I like making my temple cooler. Alright, time to go chew ass and kick gum. Alright, that didn't work. Hold on, let's try this again. We have made it back. It is day 60, and I am going to make this attempt my last. I have all the tools. I have plenty of health. I have a level 20 vampiric axe. I have a strong poison curse. It's time to avenge all my lost followers. I have a strong fight. I know the moveset. I make it to second phase, only getting hit twice. I try to keep up my pace. Take a couple more hits to get me low because I get greedy, but this is the run. I can feel it in my glorious hat. And then I did it. I did it. The last of the bishops falls at the very end of day 60. And now we can move on to the very last phase of the game. Freeing the one who waits. Ooh, how cinematic. Finally, those bishops are dead. God damn, they were actually a bit troublesome. But now, like I said before, I have one last task. To free the man who wants them to... God damn, 20 followers! Alright, well, that's being put on the back burner for now. I'm gonna go enjoy the game for a while because I only have 13 followers, and I am pretty sure a good few of them are going to die very soon. Time to hunt some cultists! These days are just gonna consist of whatever is left until I complete the game, honestly. And these days were some of my favorite. I got to re-explore the old dungeons after so long. I got to decorate my base and just gain more followers and chill. But then, tragedy struck. My beloved spider boy, Weber, finally passed away from old age. Weber has been around since the beginning. My first special character. He loved to eat poop and was a little weird, but I still loved him like a son. I don't know what I would do without him. The keyword there is wood. Hell yeah, this is a cult! Welcome back from the dead, Weber! Had me spooked there for a second before I remember that morally questionable acts are the norm around here. Speaking of morally questionable acts, I decided it was finally time to forgive, and I revived Bingus from the first video to welcome him back to the cult. This time around, I plan to keep him safe, and I sacrificed him immediately. This is what you deserve, Bingus! Anyways, hey, do any of you remember that hobby I started earlier that I was sure wouldn't blow out of proportion? Yeah, well, it is currently blowing out of proportion. Why do I have so many mines? Why can't I stop making them? The children yearn for the mines. I love You know what? I probably shouldn't finish that last part. Yeah, I built way too many mines, and now I'm stuck with too much wood and stone and not enough hands everywhere else. Now I could just go tell the workers to work elsewhere, but I don't want to. My headcanon is they love the mines, so I will just sit and pout and watch the consequences of my own actions. Since we needed more hands on deck, it's time to recruit some new cultists. Say hello to, you know what? We can just skip these new cultists. We honestly don't need to address every single one at this point. It's Shooty Hops and Poopy. Yeah, I really have lost it at this point. And no, Judy Hops is not going in the mating tent. It is not happening. Why do I have so much stone? Why did I do this to myself? Oh, and you know how I mentioned Anchor Deep being difficult earlier? Yeah, well, I went back to Anchor Deep being cocky, and I immediately got stomped. Maybe I'm just bad, or maybe it's because I set the game to hard difficulty, but that place is rough and mean to me, and I don't like it anymore. Oh yeah, and since Weber is back to life now, guess what my boy wants? You guessed it. Hopefully. He wants to eat more poop. I'm not shaming, but actually, yeah, I'm shaming. Stop eating poop. Just don't eat poop, kids. It's weird, and I will make fun of you. Anywho, it's probably about time to make the base at least somewhat decent looking in these kind of games. I don't usually decorate, but I decided it's probably a good idea to put some floors under all the beds and stations. Only took me like 68 days. Hey, that's pretty good for me. Hey guys, look. I made it to the funny number. Look, you're supposed to laugh now. Come on. Haha. For your information, no, I didn't really do anything special on this day. I just placed some floors to make my graveyard a bit more demonic looking, and I unlocked a new ritual, specifically to never use it because it gives my followers a day off. I am now approaching the end of the game. All of my old followers have been replaced by new followers, and the cult is up to 14 out of 20, so shouldn't be so hard to gather the rest. I decided to try one of the somewhat recent mechanics that came out in this game, the co-op multiplayer. The multiplayer in this game is done really well, actually. It works through Steam's remote play, so my friend Barn just joined my world and played as the goat. And he made sure I could hear him because this goat doesn't shut up. But yeah, the multiplayer is cool. The weapons that spawn are doubled, so you can pick who gets what, and the tarot cards are split, so you both get one in each of the tarot tents. And the most important feature, you can now play your friends in Knucklebones. Ah yes, another game to ruin friendships. But I think the multiplayer element complements this game super well. It for sure makes the game easier, but I don't think it's game breaking. It seems like the enemies gain more health, but you guys can share hearts to revive each other, and if one of you falls in a chamber, if the other one clutches, you'll be revived for free. Honestly, made getting the last 6 followers super entertaining, and thank you, Bang, for helping out and keeping me entertained for like the 5 or 6 in-game days. Alright, that's enough messing around. I suppose it's finally time to finish this game. We have the 20 followers, so let's go meet with the one who waits. I meet him in person for the first time, and this man has the audacity to ask me to die. After all I've done for him, he wants to eat me and my followers. Why can't just one of you bishops be normal? Well, anyways, you guys probably already knew, but the final boss is the one who waits himself, aka Narinder. I think that's how you pronounce it. The fight starts with his 2 guards, Ball and Ayam. They're an easy fight because you fight them each solo, but they have interesting movesets. Seems like a good warm-up. So after I deal with them, I look towards Narinder himself. The fight has a combination of both Ball and Ayam's attacks mixed into one. This game has quickly evolved into a bullet hell, but I ain't going down here. If there's one thing I'm good at in this game, it's dealing with shitloads of projectiles. Eventually, Narinder goes down, but I could tell that wasn't the end of my fight. The arena fully changes, and now this is a final boss. My beloved cultists are strapped to crucifixes whilst I have to fight Narinder in his eldritch form. There's 3 eyeballs all attacking at the same time, along with Narinder firing projectiles himself. As much as I would love to keep yapping, I think I'll let the final moments play out on their own. What a fight. Truly amazing. Naruto goes down and is reduced to the form of a follower, and we inherit the power of the crown for ourselves. Now we are given a choice: spare or murder him. Of course, I chose to spare him. Murdering this guy would be way too easy of a punishment. Welcome to the mines, boy! You'll be working every day of your sorry life. And that's how the game ends. Quite the journey, if you ask me. Final day was day 78, which honestly took longer than expected, but I'm satisfied. Cult of the Lamb is an amazing game. Go give it a try for sure. Half the fun is just experiencing your own journey and cult, and there is a lot of content I didn't even touch on. I have been told that the game doesn't truly start until post-game, but I can't confirm that because I haven't played yet. But anyways, that's all I got for this video. Sorry it took so long, and as always, thanks for watching.